Welcome to Balanced Bodies, the podcast where we make nutrition easy so you can focus on living your best life. I'm Anisha Gupta, a registered dietitian, and I'm here to help you achieve hormonal balance, blood sugar balance, and overall better health. As a busy mom myself, I understand how hard it can be to find the time and energy to focus on nutrition. But the truth is, our health is too important to ignore. That's why I created the Balanced Bodies podcast to provide practical tips and strategies for achieving optimal health without sacrificing your busy lifestyle. In each episode, we'll explore various nutrition topics and discuss the latest research and trends so you're always up to date. You'll get actionable tips so that you can start implementing today and make big moves towards a healthier and happier version of yourself. Whether you're struggling with PCOS or looking to find your healthiest weight, or maybe you're simply just wanting to feel your best, Balanced Bodies has got you covered. I'm here to support you wherever you are on your health journey, because at the end of the day, nutrition should be easy and enjoyable. So join me on this journey towards balanced bodies and better health. Subscribe to the Balanced Bodies podcast today, and let's make nutrition easy, one episode at a time. Okay, today we're going to talk about the weekend eating struggle. Why it's so hard for us to stay consistent with our eating choices on the weekends. And I have a couple of points here that I want to share with you today, but I know from a lot of client interactions that I've had that weekends just tend to be so much harder for people to make those healthy choices and to continue that routine. Weekdays is a little bit different, but our weekend routine and lifestyle is so much different. So I want to dive into that, and I want to give you some strategies to help you with making those better decisions. So stick around till the end, and I'm going to talk about ways that you can takeaway points that you can really implement so that you can make healthier choices on the weekend, because your weekend shouldn't be the reason that you can't stick to your health goals. We want your weekends to support you in your health goals. So the first problem that happens on the weekend compared to the weekdays is there's a whole different change in routine. So on the weekdays, people typically follow a set schedule of meals and snacks. But on the weekend, we don't have that same routine. The routine changes, which creates some inconsistency, inconsistent meal times, inconsistent snack times, maybe even missed meals. So for example, this weekend, my son had soccer this morning. So just like a lot of other parents as well, you're out and about doing things. You might be going to a tournament. My sister-in-law is going to Ottawa for her son's basketball. I think it's basketball that he's doing right now. Basketball tournament. So eating is just all over the place when you're going to different games and tournaments and other events that you may be going to. And even if you're not going to sporting events, maybe you're out doing groceries. Maybe you are out running other type of errands on the weekend, because that's the time that you have. So you may be going by a random coffee shop or a donut shop, or you might grab a smoothie at this place that you happen to be driving by. Or you might be find yourself at Costco where there is tons of samples. So all of these different eating opportunities can throw off your regular routine, the regular times that your body is used to when it feels hungry and fullness. Our body gets used to the same kind of routine, but being out of the regular routine can really create a disconnect for your body. Your body's like, oh, okay, we're getting a smoothie at 10 a.m. Interesting. We don't normally eat at this time, but all right, which will throw off your lunch, for example. Another really interesting point about the weekend and this change in routine is that for some people, they may notice hunger more often because they're not distracted by work. So during the weekdays, you are so engrossed in your work that you don't really notice your hunger. You're just working. Oh, it's lunchtime, gotta eat lunch, and then go back to work, kind of a thing. But on the weekend, you don't have work as a distraction. So now all of a sudden, you're so much more aware of your hunger, and you end up eating in a lot of different ways. And for some, that can create guilt. Some that creates binge eating as well. We'll get a little bit more into that in a little bit. Okay, so the second reason why our weekend eating is so much harder is because on the weekends, we have more social events. So our weekends are filled with social events like dinners and parties and brunches, and being in all these other different situations can often lead us to overindulge and overeat. and even eating foods that are maybe not the best choices for us, maybe not the most nutritious choices for us. So that could be things like higher salt meals, higher sugar desserts, higher fat type of foods, which maybe we want to enjoy a little bit less, but on the weekends, we're doing things that are fun. So that could be a real way that we're not able to stick to our eating routine. Number 3 is less structure. So kind of like the change in routine, but on the weekends, we're more relaxed. We're not going from one place to the next in a timely fashion, which can lead to a lack of structure also with our eating habits. And sometimes this results in mindless snacking or even skipping meals altogether. So for example, when you sleep in on a weekend, I have children who don't sleep in, so I no longer enjoy the luxuries of sleeping in. But if you're somebody who is able to sleep in or enjoys sleeping in on the weekends, you may be waking up later in the morning at a time when during the weekday, you might have already had breakfast, but now you're having a brunch, and that throws off your eating routine. For some people, they save their more extravagant type of breakfasts for the weekend, like pancakes and waffles, and in South Asian culture, people have paranthas, and there's more going on with this brunch breakfast type of meal because you have more time. So that's the time people like to enjoy different types of foods rather than just the typical, on-the-go type of a breakfast that they're doing when they have to go to work. So having that larger brunch type of a meal is going to make you less hungry for an actual lunch at that same lunchtime. So you're going to be eating later. And I've seen this with so many of my clients where this is their regular weekend routine. So we work towards that. And I'll give you some tips on this closer to the end. And then the other thing is with the weekend, having less structure means that you aren't planning your meals. You don't have a schedule. You don't have a routine that, we got to have lunch at this time. We must have dinner at this time. It's really flexible. And the flexibility can lead to feeling extra hungry over certain times of the day or feeling less hungry so you don't feel like eating quite so much. All of that plays a role in this. And the decision-making opportunities on the weekend are harder because if you think about it, on the weekdays, a lot of the decisions are already made for you. You got to have breakfast, you got to have lunch. It's already scheduled in. And you may be having the same type of a meal for breakfast or the same type of a salad for lunch, cereal or oatmeal every day for breakfast. That decision's already made for you. But on the weekend, you may want something different, but you haven't scheduled it. You haven't thought about what that different is going to look like, which creates uncertainty for you. And a big question mark in your head, which creates confusion. The other really important thing is on the weekends, we have more open time. Because we're not as scheduled, we don't have as much going on sometimes. So you may find yourself bored, and a lot of people end up eating when they're bored. So if this is you, pay attention. Are you eating because you're bored or are you eating because you're hungry? I'm going to take a sip of water. Hold on. Okay. Moving on to point number 4, temptation. So on the weekends, there is more social activity going on. There are more opportunities for indulging in comfort foods like sweets and alcohol, which make it harder for us to stick to the routine. As we've already talked about, there's more social events. So in this kind of way, even if you're just doing it in your own home, sometimes it's a reward. I've been so good during the week, I deserve to eat a certain way over the weekend because now next week, come Monday, we're back to our strict, quote unquote, healthy eating lifestyle. So some people think of it as, my weekends are my cheat days, quote unquote, cheat days. I have a whole spiel about the word cheating when it comes to food, but we'll save that for another day. But the temptation is there that on the weekends, it's my time. It's my time to enjoy. I need to be able to enjoy these foods. I have to because it's the weekend. We have to make the most out of it. So that's a big problem with our mindset when it comes to the weekends. All right, point number 5, lack of meal prep. So on the weekdays, people may prepare their meals in advance, which makes it easier to stick to a healthy eating routine. But on the weekends, we're not as prepared. So meal prep is kind of neglected for the weekend. On Sunday, you're prepping for the week. You prep for about 4 to 5 days, but then come Saturday, Sunday, you don't have that meal prep. You don't have those meals to turn towards. You haven't thought about what it is that you're going to eat. So that often leads to making unhealthy food choices or not as healthy food choices, which takes you away from your goals for some people. Number 6, eating out. A lot of people tend to eat out over the weekends and eat out more frequently on the weekends. So this makes it difficult to control portion sizes, to control the food quality, to control what's going into the food. It makes it a lot harder. And I can understand it because as a busy mom, as someone who is making meals for her family, if we're doing this all the time, like I get it. On weekends, you feel like, well, I want to enjoy too. I don't want to spend hours and hours in the kitchen. I want to be able to relax because our weekends are meant to relax. We have this mindset of, I need to be doing less. I need to catch up or I need to just do less during the weekends. I'm getting weekends and weekdays all confused in my head right now. But we have that and it's not wrong. We're not wrong to want to wind down and take it a little bit slower and just recharge over the weekends. But the lack of having that prep work can really create an environment where you are eating out more because you feel like you deserve it. So the other thing is, point number 7, is we want to have more time for leisurely activities. And this goes right into what I was just saying. People want more time for themselves over the weekend. We want to enjoy activities that make us feel like there's more than just work and the hustle bustle of work life, and we want to enjoy those outside activities, which is cool. I 100% agree that you should be able to enjoy your leisure time as well with you, your family, your friends. This is the time to do it. And we take it I know COVID came and quote unquote has left, but we really felt the effects of not being able to enjoy leisurely activities. So this does create a little bit more of a roadblock when it comes to healthy eating for sure, but it doesn't have to be. And I'll give you those strategies near the end. And then the other thing is, point number 8 is, for some people, the weekends actually create more stress. You have increased stress because yes, the weekdays can be stressful with work and everything else going on, but the weekends is when your spouse is home, your kids are home, maybe your parents are home, there's chores to do, there's cleaning up to do, there's a lot of obligations to meet with other people or whatever it may be. There's a lot going on the weekends. And that stress in itself can lead to emotional eating or a desire to indulge. So that can also be a problem. So take a minute to reflect within yourself. Are my weekends a time that I wind down, or do my weekends end up being extra stressful trying to do all the different things, trying to manage all the different people in my life? And is that creating some kind of an emotional eating response? Because eating is not just food. We don't eat just because our stomachs are hungry or our body needs nourishment. Eating is very, very complex, and emotional eating is a real and true thing. So take a moment to reflect that if that is you, because food is really part of an emotional stress response, and being at home with all of our family can be a trigger. Okay. And then the reward mentality. We've kind of alluded to this already. So weekends being a time to relax, so time to reward ourselves. And after a long week of work, you don't want to necessarily stick to a healthy eating plan all the time. We deserve to eat different things. We deserve to have ice cream because I've eaten so well all week long. And people tend to binge when we have this type of a mindset. We end up binging instead of really truly eating in a way that supports our health. So I'm working with a client right now, and this was one of her biggest things when we first started, is that she would eat, quote unquote, clean during the week and binge on the weekends, because that was her time that she allowed herself to enjoy these foods, and found that she would overeat every weekend and feel guilty about it. And we changed that. We changed the way that her mindset was and got her to allow herself to enjoy all foods at any point in time. So she didn't have to wait till the weekend to have a burger. She wanted a burger on a Tuesday night. She could have a burger on a Tuesday night. And that took away the power of the weekend binges that she used to have. She's not binging anymore. She still can enjoy whatever foods that she wants. But she said to me not long ago, I believe maybe last week or the week before, from when this is being recorded, that she can now go to a restaurant and actually order vegetables because she's excited to eat them. She's not ordering them because she's on some kind of a diet or some healthy eating thing that she has to have them. Her mindset has shifted to allow her to enjoy vegetables because she truly does actually want to have them and is enjoying eating her vegetables, which is like a massive, massive breakthrough, and obviously made me smile from ear to ear because like that's just crazy. It's not a feeling that most people have about vegetables, but when we change our mindset and change our view on what our eating experiences should look like, it's a game changer. It's definitely a game changer, and for the better. Absolutely for the better. Really, really awesome. So these are some of my main points, what I find when I'm working with my clients, that why people are having such a hard time when it comes to managing their eating on the weekends compared to the weekdays. Now, I want to give you some strategies, some ways that you can actually move forward in overcoming this weekend dilemma and helping you to stick to your goals of healthier eating. And remember, I'm like an all-inclusive dietitian where everything is allowed. So there's no foods that are off limits, weekdays, weekends, whatever it may be. But we want to create a routine that works for us. Okay, so my first point in the strategies to help you overcome this weekend struggle is, number one, plan ahead. Okay, before the weekend starts, plan your meals and snacks. If you plan on eating out, pick a meal that you're going to be eating out. And rather than, we don't have anything made, let's just order in. We don't have anything, let's do Uber Eat. So let's go out to a restaurant, kind of a thing. So it's not on the whim, it's actually a scheduled time where you're going to go out and eat. This will help you stay on track with how much you're actually eating out. Number two, practice mindful eating. This is what was happening with my client. She became more mindful about her meals and how she was enjoying her meals. So when you eat, take your time to enjoy what you're eating. Savor it in your mouth a little bit longer. Assess the taste and the flavors that are going into your mouth and how your mouth is actually responding to it. Do you enjoy what you're eating? Very important. It doesn't have to be enjoyment all the time. You don't have to love everything that you're eating, because I think that's setting you up for unrealistic expectations. But I don't want you to hate the meals that you're eating. But let's be realistic. You don't have to love and think, every single meal needs to be absolutely delicious. That's unrealistic. Realistically, I want you to enjoy your meals, but be realistic in, I don't have to love every single thing that I'm eating. It doesn't have to taste stellar every single time. It's great if it does, but I'm not a chef, and I know that it's not always that I make delicious food, but you got to eat it because I've made it, and this is what we're having today. That's it. You eat food because you're eating food. But when we become more mindful and become more in tune with our body and how our body is understanding hunger and fullness and really starting to enjoy different types of foods because they taste great, it's really, really awesome. It's really, really awesome when you start to, like my client, she now enjoys vegetables. She looks forward to enjoying vegetables because she actually wants to, not because she has to and she's on a diet and she's trying to lose weight or whatever it may be. She's actually trying, she likes vegetables. And I've heard this with so many of my clients that they look forward to their salads because their salads taste good. And also because they've now realized that it's not a punishment. I'm not having a salad as a punishment when I wanted to eat other things. I'm still eating the other things, but I'm also enjoying the salad and the side effects of having that salad. Better energy, more fiber in your diet, which helps you with better mood, helps you to have happier poops. So many amazing things happen when we are including vegetables. And once you become aware of that, awesome. Absolutely awesome. Okay. Third point is to stay hydrated. So drinking water can help reduce your temptation for snacking and unhealthier types of foods. So I have noticed this as a trend in my coaching experience with my clients as a dietitian. If you're not drinking enough water, people tend to have more sweet cravings. People tend to munch on a lot of different things. So there's a thing about our body that when we're not in tune with our hunger and fullness or our thirst cues, sometimes we think that we're hungry when in actuality we're thirsty. So often I will say to my clients, make sure you're drinking enough water, because that will help you with your cravings, help you with randomly snacking as well. So if you're going for a random snack in your kitchen and you're just kind of opening and closing cupboards, don't really know what you want to have, and just kind of randomly finding yourself in your kitchen without really, knowing what you want to have, there's a good chance that you may be thirsty. So think about it. How much water have you drank that day? And go for a glass of water first, and then see if you're still munching or wanting to indulge in something, go ahead and eat it. But it may be that you're thirsty and you're just not recognizing that thirst cue. So that can be a great way to help you. And the other really important point is that on the weekdays, a lot of people, because of that structure and that routine, you have water sitting at your desk. This is very true for me. When I have meetings and I'm sitting at my desk, I always have a glass of water. But on the weekends, I don't always take water with me when I'm out and about. And my water intake significantly goes down on the weekends because I don't have access. I'm not looking at water I don't have a glass of water in front of me. Versus when I'm working on my desk, there's a glass of water and I refill it consistently. And also my job involves a lot of talking, which gives me a dry mouth. So that's also a cue for me to drink more water. But on the weekends, I realize that I don't always drink enough water. So finding a water bottle that you enjoy, remembering to take it out with you when you are out and about is an important way to help you stay hydrated as well. Okay, number 4, stick to your regular eating schedule. So I know you may want to sleep in. I know you may want to stay up later on the weekends as well, which also throws off your sleeping and eating schedule. Try your best to stick to the same routine. Our body loves and thrives on routine. It loves to go to bed at the same time every day. It loves to wake up at the same time every day if you're feeling fresh when you wake up. And really, really likes that. It works well for our hormones. It's really great for our body to do that. So if you can, try to do your best to go to bed still at your regular time and wake up at your regular time. That would work really well to keep that routine and schedule in place. When you would normally eat breakfast, when it's your lunch break for your work days, your snack, your evening, it works really well. Okay, number 5, choose healthier options. So when you do go to social events or parties or a restaurant, think about what you want to eat, but also think about how can you make this healthier. So if it's at a restaurant, look and see. If your burger comes with fries, maybe get a side of salad as well so that you can have your fries, but you can also enjoy the salad. Or if you are going to someone's house and they have a buffet of options available for you, take a second, look at what the options are, and think about, what do you actually want to eat? Where are you getting your protein from? Where are you getting your vegetables? Which is the grain that you feel like eating? You don't have to eat everything, but just taking a second to look at your options and decide first what it is that you're going to go for that first. And then if you want more, go for seconds, go for different options. But often I find myself, and I know this is true for others as well, when you put too much on your plate, you end up overeating it. So start with a little bit less and listen to your body before you go for that second plate. And if you're truly hungry, once you're done that first plate, then go ahead, have some more food. And think about, what do you actually feel like having before you go and get it. Okay. The next point is to stay active. So even on the weekends, I want you to move your body a little bit. Physical activity can help you feel a little bit more productive over your weekend time. It can help you reduce your stress. It can help you sleep better because movement, we know that exercise helps to sleep better. So if you're having a hard time sleeping, maybe the weekend is the time where you can actually create some sort of an exercise routine. Even if it's not during the weekdays, do it on the weekends, and that can help you sleep better. And if you're somebody who finds yourself being bored often on the weekends, having some scheduled movement in place can really help you to do something. And you'll feel good about it too. There's so many happy emotions and feelings and hormones that get released when we are engaged in regular physical activity. And if the weekend is the time that you can make it work for you, do it. Even if it's going for a quiet Saturday morning walk or an evening walk, or go to a class on the weekend, kickboxing or yoga or something that you enjoy. Number 7, practice moderation. So like we said earlier, a lot of people feel the need to indulge over the weekends. And if you're indulging over the weekends, maybe you're eating a little bit more than what you would like to. So being mindful of, okay, if it's ice cream, say you have this thing about, okay, on the weekends, I'm allowed to have ice cream. I haven't had ice cream all week. I really like ice cream. I'm going to have it on the weekends. Well, 2 things. One is you can let go of that theory about the weekdays, because really your body's going to digest food the same ways any days of the week. So yeah, you can have ice cream when you actually feel like it, whether it's on a Tuesday or a Thursday, but also being mindful of how much you're having. So rather than having a full massive bowl of ice cream because, oh my gosh, I have to wait till next Saturday to have ice cream again, think about, I can have a little bit. How much do I actually want to have? Put it in a smaller bowl, eat it with a smaller spoon, and savor it a little bit longer in your mouth so that you can actually taste it. When we eat something really fast, our mouth didn't get to enjoy it. And often we may want to have more afterwards because we didn't really taste it, so we want more. Our mouth didn't get that mouth satisfaction. So eating things a little bit more slowly, especially when it comes to desserts, savor it into your mouth, savor it in your mouth a little bit longer so that your mouth does get to actually have that mouthfeel and enjoy it and feel more satisfied with a little bit less. But letting go of the whole, I can only eat this on a Saturday mindset is a game changer in your quantity and portion sizes of what you're going to be having. Because now, it takes time to get into this routine. But once you start to realize that I can have ice cream again on a Tuesday if I want to, all of a sudden, you're not going to want to have this massive bowl of ice cream. You're going to say, okay, I'm good with a small bowl. And if on a Tuesday I want to have more, I can have more. Okay. And then the last one is get enough sleep. So lack of sleep, especially on the weekends, I know it happens a lot. You want to watch a movie, you want to stay up late, you go to someone's house, you're getting home at 2:00 in the morning or a party, whatever it may be. Think about it. The next day when you wake up, do you feel your best? Probably not. And alcohol can play a part in that as well. But if you're exhausted and tired and just not feeling your best the next day, well, you're not going to get a lot done. And it's not going to be a really great weekend for you if you are just exhausted and tired the next day. So getting enough sleep is really important in terms of hormonal balance, metabolism, and even cravings. When we don't sleep properly, we tend to have more cravings for sweets because our body is just looking for that extra energy that it didn't get because we didn't sleep properly. So when we sleep properly, we are allowing our body to get the rest and rejuvenation that it needs so that we can function well the next day. Our body needs sleep. We take sleep for granted so much, and we really should give our body a little bit more rest than what makes sleep a priority in your life. I'll just leave it at that. Make sleep a priority in your life. And honestly, it's the root cause of so many different issues that my clients face every day, including myself. I've come a long way in terms of my sleep and routine with my kids, waking up at night and all of that. I'll tell you that story another day, but make sleep a priority. It's really, really important. All right, guys. I hope that helps you guys and you get some nice tips on how to make your weekends more successful. Don't stress about it. Eating doesn't have to be perfect. We want it to be always a work in progress. It's always going to be a work in progress. My eating is not perfect either, but just making 1 or 2 changes at a time can really help you to make your weekends a little bit better. So just make 1 or 2 changes based on everything that I've said today. Just take 1 or 2 points and start implementing them and see how it's changing for you and what the positives are. So you can always message me and let me know how things are going for you. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of the Balanced Bodies podcast. Remember, achieving optimal health is a journey, and it's all about finding balance in our busy lives. If you enjoyed today's episode, don't just keep me to yourself. Share it with a friend or a family member that needs to hear it. Also, I'm inviting you to join me on Instagram at hello.nutrition for even more content, behind-the-scenes peeks, and daily inspiration. Follow me and stay connected and be part of my growing community of balanced bodies. If you have questions or topics that you'd like me to cover in future episodes, reach out. Your feedback is invaluable to me. I want to share with you the topics that matter with you the most. And of course, don't miss out on the next episode of Balanced Bodies. Hit that subscribe button now and stay tuned for even more invaluable insights and inspirations for the future. By subscribing, you'll never miss an episode of the Balanced Bodies podcast. This is your host, Anisha Gupta, registered dietitian, signing off from Balanced Bodies for today. Wishing you, my sweet, sweet friend, a fantastic day ahead. Subscribe now and let's make nutrition easy and enjoyable together.